Day webinar. My name's Rick Shreves, and I'll be hosting the webinar. We do this the first Tuesday of each month, and this is presented by How To WordPress. You can visit our site at http://howto-wordpress.net. And this month, we're tackling the topic of WordPress themes. We're calling this the WordPress Themes Primer Edition. So we're going to take an extensive look at the themes layer of WordPress and what you can do with it, and hopefully answer some questions along the way. Let's take a look at our agenda for today. First thing we're going to do is theme. What are the components of it? What function does it serve? Why do I even want to mess with these things? Next, we're going to look at how you can find a new theme for your WordPress website. Then we're going to go through installing that theme on the site. And then after we've installed that theme, I'm going to show you how to create a child theme. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. We'll get there today for sure, and you will understand, and you'll know how to build one. And then finally, we'll look at customizing the theme and what you can do. And we're going to use the sample site that we created during the first two webinars as a way of demonstrating these techniques along the way. So let's go ahead now and tackle that first question. That first question, of course, is what is a theme? And let's look at it from the visitor's side for a second. This is the front end of the WordPress demo site that we created during the first two webinars. What they see, or what you're looking at right now when you see the front end of a website that's built with WordPress, is you're seeing the output of the themes layer. This is oftentimes called the presentation layer of a website. It is the skin, it is the front end. It's all these components we see on the screen, from the content area here on the right to the separation on the left-hand side of this bar that has the site title, the site tagline, the place for the menu, a place for the widgets, including the search box, the recent posts, the browse by category, and the browse by tag. This whole structure is really determined by the themes. And when you change to the theme, you change this skin on the website. So you change the appearance of the website, and you control the appearance of the website through the use of themes. They do basic things like determine colors and font choices, but they also do things like determine the placement on the page of key elements. They determine how many spots you have for widgets and where they appear. And they may even include things like post formats, page templates, both of which are preset layouts that particular types of pages and particular types of content, posts for example, would use and can use to change the way that they appear inside of this placeholder that's created by the theme. Now, that's what a theme is from a practical point of view for a site visitor. If you are an administrator, however, it's a different animal. It's something that you manage on the back end of your website. So I'm going to go ahead and log into this installation. Once you log into the WordPress dashboard, there is a Themes Manager. And that Themes Manager is located under this Appearance menu over here. See, there's an option here called Themes. There are also other items that relate to the appearance of the site. The Customize link, which does give you some customization ability for the theme. Widgets, which controls the placement of the widgets on the screen, or I should say really it controls widget visibility. The placement is determined by the theme. Menus, which is the option that lets you manage all the menus on the site. And then sometimes you have header and background, which allow you to control the header shown in the theme and the background shown on the pages. And then the editor link, which allows us to edit the files that are part of the theme. I want to start by clicking on the theme option here and show you the Themes Manager. This is the Themes Manager, and it shows you a list of all the themes that are installed on the site. It also shows you which one is active, which is clearly marked here. This 2015 theme is active. I also have installed 2014 and 2013. These three themes are the default set of themes that come with WordPress 4. These are, if you will, the official themes. But as the screen implies, you can add new themes to your WordPress installation. And we're going to do that in just a sec, but let's look at the other features on this page first. Notice if we move our mouse over a theme that is not active, it gives us the choice to activate it, and it gives us the option to see a live preview of that theme. There's also a Theme Details option. So if I click on Theme Details, it shows me a larger picture, tells me who created it, gives me the name, the version number, tells me a little bit about it, and then the tags that are associated with it. And most of the time, these relate to the features. If we want, we can actually see it in action by clicking Live Preview. Now, this shows us what our site content, our existing site content, would look like if we use this theme. And it gives you the options over here to customize. This is actually the theme customizer over here. We'll see that later on. But let's go ahead and close that now. If I wanted to activate one of these other themes, I'd simply click the Activate button. Now, for the active theme, we have the theme details choice here, but we have something new, which is this Customize button, which will take us to a customization screen. We're going to come back and revisit that in just a little bit. So, from the front end, the theme is the skin that controls the look and feel of the site. From the back end, the theme is a choice that you make that determines what happens on the front end of the site. And we can control that, add new themes, change themes, customize them, do all of that from the administration system. But now, for the purists in the crowd, what is a theme in hardcore technical code terms? Well, what I've done here is I've gone to the directory where all of my WordPress files are, and this is my WordPress installation. This may look familiar to some of you. Themes are kept here in this WP-content directory. So if I open that up, you'll see there's a subdirectory in here called themes, along with plugins and some other things. If I open the themes directory, we see here 3 directories that match the names of those themes we just saw a second ago. There's 2013, 2014, and 2015. Now, 2015 is active right now. If I open that up, you'll see a list of all the components of that theme, and it's actually quite extensive. There's everything from the basic style.css, which is your cascading style sheet, your CSS file, through a whole bunch of other things. Some of these things are templates. Some of them control the output of certain portions of the page. For example, the header.php file controls the header of the page. The footer.php file controls the footer that's shown on all the page. And then additionally, there's other things like functions.php, which has all of our theme functions, and these actually affect the functionality offered by the theme. There's also some other things like a directory of JavaScript, a directory of language files for languages other than English, some includes, some icons, and additional CSS files. Now, the contents of each of these theme directories is going to be slightly different, and that's because each theme creator makes different decisions about the features they want their theme to offer, and you can see sometimes they're quite complicated. And this is why, as a result, most people actually wind up using pre-built commercial themes, or they start with something called a theme framework and they build up the theme from there. These are basically tools that allow us to jumpstart our theme development. We don't have to worry about coming up with all these various components to create a theme. We can just install the framework, or we can install the commercial theme, and then we can customize it to fit our needs. And frankly, this is one of the things that WordPress does very, very well, and I often encourage people to do it. I think it's a very logical way to develop a WordPress site with the minimum amount of stress and a maximum amount of functionality. So with that thought in mind, let's go ahead and segue into the topic of how do we find a theme. Let's say we want to add something to our site. We're tired of looking at this. We want something a little sexier, something a little more appropriate for our content. Well, where would we find themes? Well, the answer is there's a lot of places you can find themes. The first place you want to look at, or you want to consider at least, is WordPress.org. There is a themes repository on the WordPress.org site. And if you just click the themes option here, you'll see a list of all the various themes that are available. Now, you can also filter these. There's a feature filter here, or you can view the latest releases, the most popular ones. You can also search for them here. And then when you find one you like, if you just click on, you get more info. You get more information about it. It also tells you how frequently it's been downloaded, which is quite useful to know. See if it's active, if people are using it. And if anyone's rated it and given it a review, you can read those here as well, which is actually very, very useful to do. You also want to check always the last updated date. You want a theme that does appear to be actively maintained and has been updated regularly. Now, while a lot of people do use themes from WordPress.org, I think probably a lot of them, they don't find them in this fashion. They find them instead through the admin interface of their WordPress site. And let me show you. Here's another way to get exactly to where we are. So I'm going to go back to this themes list. Now, the other way to get there is right here from your themes manager. If you just click Add New, what you'll see now is a list of those very same templates that we saw just a moment ago. Right? There's Foxy Light that we just looked at a second ago. This is exactly the same list of templates. This is the themes, rather. This is the list of themes from WordPress.org. And there's our feature filter. So let's go ahead and feature this. Let's say that I want a responsive layout theme, and I want it to be accessibility ready. Now I can click Apply Filters, and it will show me a list of themes that meet those requirements. And then I can learn more about them and get a preview of them here if I want. So this is one option for finding another theme for the site. That said, these themes are by and large free. They're used on a large number of sites. If you want something that is perhaps a little more unique, a little less widely used, well, then you may want to look at a commercial theme. And you may also want to look at a commercial theme because they oftentimes have more features built into them, and sometimes even include additional plugins that you would have to pay for otherwise, but they're bundled with the theme. And when it comes to looking for commercial themes, while there are several places you can go, one of the places that I use heavily and I quite like is called Theme Forest. And this is the Theme Forest website, themeforest.net. They sell themes, templates for a variety of different systems, a variety of different content management systems, including WordPress. And in fact, if we go here and we just click the WordPress link, it'll filter their theme collection and just show us the ones that are available for WordPress. Prices are clearly stated, and you can also filter and tag things here if you're looking for something more specific, like we want one that's responsive. Let's go ahead and just filter by that. Now it'll update this list and it'll show us a list of things that are responsive. You can also go ahead and search if you prefer to search here. And I don't know, let's search for music. Okay, so there we go. A number of music-themed WordPress themes. So if we just take a look at one of these, and let's see, this one's got a solid 5-star rating, 81 ratings. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. If I click on this, you get a nice explanation of what it does. It gives you clicks to the documentation and the live preview. And see, here's a perfect example. Visual Composer and Page Builder is included. Slider Revolution is included. Both of those things you'd have to pay for otherwise. They say that's a $48 value right there. This theme itself only costs $59. I like Theme Forest because there is such a large number of themes available here. But the other reason I like it is because it does give me good information. For example, when was this last updated? Okay, and what kind of ratings does it have? And mind you, I always read the ratings and reviews in the comments. You have to do this because, while I have by and large had good experiences on Theme Forest, once in a while I have gotten a theme that really didn't live up to expectations. In one case, I had an active theme installed on a client site, and the theme developer subsequently shut down their business and no longer offered support for the theme, which of course didn't look great with the client and did in fact cause us some problems. If you click on the comments link, you'll see a list of people who posted comments about it. This is a good place to look and see if there are any issues. You also want to see what kind of responsiveness they're getting from the theme developer to make sure that this is actually supported. And of course, when we go back to the item details, one of the things you absolutely positively want to do is you want to click the live preview button and see what this thing looks like. And this is one of the nice features. Okay, in this case, we've actually got 3 different versions that we can look at. There's a minimal, an extended, and the main demo. Let's just click the main demo. These commercial themes, as you can probably see already from the list of installed plugins and the different options that you've seen, are much more flexible than a lot of the free themes that are in the market. And generally speaking, this is a good thing. I mean, more choices and more options for you as a website owner or a developer are good. But it also means increased complexity and additional plugins to maintain, and there are downsides to having all these features as well. If you move your mouse over the options up here, you'll see that they give us examples of all the different things you can do with this. It shows you the different photo galleries that are available, the different video layouts, ways that you could handle discography, tour schedules, archives. So again, it's very thematic in the sense that it's focused on music industry, which is what we search for, and they're showing us sample content for each of these different areas, things that we might actually want to use when we're rebuilding a music-oriented website. Now, When you look at all of this and you go, wow, that's really great, I'm not sure I could actually manage to make it look like this, do keep in mind that a lot of these themes have demo contents with them. And if you install the demo contents when you install the theme, and you'll see that option very clearly, then it'll actually give you what you've seen on the demo site, and then you can go in and modify it, or you can look at what's done, copy the pieces that you need, and use them for your own with modification. So commercial themes, great place to start, offer you a lot of options, a lot of flexibility, but do your homework. Read those ratings and reviews, make sure it has the features that you need, pay attention to widget positions. How many widget positions does it have? Does it have the flexibility that I need to be able to make the site look like I want it to do? Do I need the ability to support WooCommerce? Do I need the ability to support BuddyPress? You know, what are those options that I require? And make sure that it has all of those things. Now, as you become more advanced with this, you will probably also start having preferences for certain types of frameworks. Maybe for Bootstrap, maybe for Twitter, maybe you prefer jQuery. It really all depends on what your preferences are. But for most people, that really won't matter. If the site looks like they want it to look, it has the flexibility to let them customize it to match their brand, it'll be fine. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close that, and I'm going to go back to the back end of the site. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and find and install a theme, and I'm going to take it from the WordPress repository. Now, before I actually do that, though, there is one thing I should say. In addition to these pre-built themes, there are actually things called theme frameworks. And theme frameworks are really an entire structure, if you will, a lattice work, if you will, a framework upon which you can build up a theme. Usually a framework comes with a number of very, very basic components, but those components are designed to be added together to create much more complex structures. Three of the most popular frameworks are from StudioPress, from Woo Themes, and from Rocket Themes. The StudioPress framework is known as Genesis. It's very popular and widely used. It does cost, I believe, $59. It's actually the lowest price, really, of all the popular frameworks. It's hard to go wrong with the Genesis framework. I mean, I know a number of people that use it and are quite happy with it. But it is for people who want to build up a theme from a very basic level. StudioPress, the people behind Genesis, sell a number of child themes that use the Genesis framework. So in other words, they provide you with basically pre-built variations that are based on the framework. So it's another way to go if you want to have more control. And as a developer, it might be the preferred way to go because it does allow more customization at a more basic level. There's less reliance on wizards and pre-built structures that you see in the commercial themes. Woo Themes, which by the way is now owned by Automatic, the people behind WordPress, they also have a theme framework called Canvas. And I don't really know what to say about Canvas. I used to be a regular Woo Themes user, and I still use Woo Themes for a lot of things. They're the people behind WooCommerce. I really like their products, but I'm not sure that Canvas is still really that actively developed. I just checked the site before the webinar, and I saw there was an update recently, but we haven't had a major version in a while. And I can't help but wonder if perhaps there's something going on with Canvas post-Automatic acquisition, but that's just me guessing. I haven't seen anything on it. If anybody's heard anything on it, please pass me that info. I'd be very curious to know. Canvas runs about $97 a year, and even though technically I think it's called the Woo Themes framework, Canvas is the theme that's used to implement that and has all the features built into it and runs on top of their framework. So Canvas is what I call it. The last one that I'll mention is from Rocket Themes, and those guys really made their name on the Joomla side of things, but they do offer WordPress themes as well, and they have a framework called Gantry. Gantry costs $99, and I've used Gantry. It's interesting. It does a number of things. It does them slightly differently than Genesis and Canvas. It is quite good. You can do a lot of things with it. It's quite well documented. They seem to have very good support as well. So I would say if you want to get into the frameworks, you want to try them out, kind of kick the tires and see if it's the right fit for you, try one of those three, either Genesis, Canvas, or Gantry. There are a number of other players out there, but this is one of those things where you marry the framework and you start building sites on the framework. You want to go with a player who's going to be in the business, you know, in these years down the line, right? And these seem to me to be the three most stable players in that arena. If anyone has experiences with other frameworks, there's actually a discussion in the forums about this right now. Please feel to volunteer your experiences and share that with the group. Okay, now back to adding a theme. Let's select a theme from here using the theme manager's search functionality. And let's install it as well so we can see how the installation process works. Now, remember, this is what we've got now. This is our site now, very plain Jane. This demo site I've been building up is about jazz. I'm a big jazz fan, so we're doing a site about jazz. We really could use a theme that has a bit more funk, a bit more smoke, a bit more style in general than this one. So I'm going to look for something that's kind of suitable to my topic. I do want it to be responsive, and responsive means basically that it's going to work very well and resize itself dynamically when somebody looks at it on a phone or on an iPad or a tablet. And accessibility is an issue with me because I think we should always be building accessible websites. That is, good high contrast text, things that people with visual acuity problems can use, people with who are using keyboard navigation, etc., can use. So accessibility, I think, is a best practice we want to promote. So I'm going to choose from this list of themes, and just looking real quickly at what's here, I think honestly the best bet for me is Chosen. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, and here is the details and preview screen. Now, this preview screen is always a bit problematic for me because it does take a really generic presentation, a generic set of content, and show it in the preview, but a lot of times the preview just doesn't at all do justice to the theme. We do see the ratings here. The ratings for this one really aren't spectacular, 3.5. What does it say? Bold and minimalist. Okay, that works for my topic. Clean, uncluttered fashion. That all works for me. You know, I'm going to ignore this bad-looking demo here, and I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to click the install button. Now, at this point in time, your WordPress installation on your server is communicating with WordPress.org. It's downloading the package from WordPress.org. It's going to install it. And then it gives us the option to activate the theme. And I'm going to go ahead and activate it. Okay, so now this is updated. See, there's the 2015 theme we were using before. Now here's Chosen. It's active. Now, before I go any further, note that, let's go back to the Add New screen. If you had downloaded a theme, say from ThemeForce, and you wanted to install it, you would come again to this Add Themes page, but you'd use the Upload Theme button. If you click Upload Theme, it asks you to browse for that zip file that you got from ThemeForce or wherever. Then you would just upload that and install it. In fact, you know what? Let's just do a real quick example of that so that you can actually see that done. And I'm going to show you what we used on How to WordPress. So there's the theme. There's the theme files. Make that big enough so I can see it. There it is. I chose that. I click Install Now. I may have grabbed the entire archive. Let's find out in a second. And notice you're trying to install a .zip file. If you have the files already extracted, that is, you know, the entire directory full of all the contents, you can also just move it to your server and put it in that themes directory on the server, and it will be available to you inside of your themes manager. You don't have to use the automated installer if you don't want to. Okay, this is taking a long time. I have a feeling I may have just tried to upload the entire package from ThemeForce instead of just the theme file. What I mean by that is a lot of times when you purchase things on ThemeForce, when you download it, you get not only the theme file, but you also get the documentation and their license materials, etc., all in a single zip file. So really you need to unzip that first file that you get from them, and then inside of that would be the installable theme file. And as long as this is taking, I can't help but think I've tried to install the wrong thing. Don't worry, if you do try to install the wrong thing, it'll simply fail. It's not like it's going to break your site. Okay, in a case like this, the installer is taking forever. I'm going to go ahead and click Stop. I'm going to go back to the Themes Manager and see what I've done. And I haven't created a disaster. That's great. Let's just move forward. So here I have my installed theme. Let's take a look on the front end and see what kind of a difference it makes and see if this is something we can live with. Okay, this is what we had. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. And here it is with our new theme. Yes, that's much better. We like that. Okay, we've got options up here. This is our main nav placement. This is our site name. We've got to do something about that. That's not appropriate. And this is the page that I set to be the front page, which was an article called Welcome to Jazz with just my dummy text. Let's see what things look like elsewhere. Let's go to the About Us page. Okay, this is clean, it's super readable, it's minimalist. That works for me for a jazz site. Hey, the Contact Us form is here. Remember we set up the Contact Form 7 plugin. Let's take a look at the blog landing page. Yeah, nice feature lead article. That's good. Secondary articles will be down here in a 2-column format. I like this. This works. Let's go ahead and see what the actual blog post looks like. Okay, our categories are tags. It's got previous and next. I don't have comments available. This is good. This is good. This is a keeper for me. I'm going to keep this and work with this. Now, once you have installed a theme, there's a couple of things that you need to check out. One of them is you need to check out what happens with the menus, because oftentimes there's different menu placement options in different themes, so we have to make sure the right menu is in the right place. For example, as I look at this right now, I remember this set of labels isn't exactly right. I didn't have a page called Welcome to Jazz. I had a page called Home on my original menu. So I bet the menus have shifted on me. The other thing to look at is to look at what your widget placement options are, so you know where you can put widgets on the page. You remember on the original site, I had widgets all down the left-hand column on the home page. Well, they aren't here now, right? And as I look at the blog, you know, there's no widgets showing here either, so what's happened to my widgets? So menu placement and widget placement are two of the things you always have to check after you've shipped a new theme. So I'm going to go back here, I'm going to go to the menus option under the appearance menu, and I'm going to see what's happened with my menus. Okay, all right, this is what we have here. We do have a Manage Locations tab, and we do have this Theme Locations option right here. And it turns out there's only one menu location on this site. And you'll notice my main menu is not assigned to that location. That's how come it doesn't say Home. So if I do this, tell it assign that to the primary location and click Save Menu, now if I go back to my site and I refresh this page, yes, there we go. Home, the Jazz blog, About Us, Contact Us in the proper order. So now I've got my menu active. That's fine. Only one menu placement option is kind of limited, but I can live with it. This is a simple site. Now I'm going to go take a look at my widgets option, and this theme does not have a widget field. Wow. You know, in all the years that I've been working with WordPress, I have never seen a theme that has no widgets options at all. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, well, these are the sort of things you learn when you click and install themes and check them out. Again, if it was a commercial theme, I'd probably be fairly upset if I wanted to use widgets. For purposes of our demo today, I'm just going to go for it and live without it, because I do actually like the look of the theme. It is what I wanted to achieve in terms of minimalism. This is really a good example of what happens a lot of times when I go into the WordPress repository of free themes and subsequently also with free plugins. You wind up, checking things out. You download it, you install it, you turn it on, you look at it, and you go, not quite right. Or you download it and you install it and you go, what? No widget area? And it's really sort of a trial and error process. I mean, the ratings and reviews can help you somewhat, and I bet that's why there were only 3.5 stars ratings on this thing, is there's no widget areas. It's a learning process we all have to go through when we're using things off the repository. On the commercial sites where there's a lot more information, like ThemeForest, you usually wouldn't be ambushed by something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and move ahead now. So I've got the theme in place. I've checked my menu. I've checked my widgets. Now, the first thing I want to do before I start to customize a theme is create what is known as a child theme. Now let's flip over to the WordPress codex for a second. Child themes are absolutely a must. They are a best practices approach to skinning your WordPress site. The concept works like this. When you install a theme, if you make changes to that theme, if you change the CSS styling, you change the functions.php file, you edit the footer, you change the header, something like this, that's all fine, and you can do it. But what happens is when you update that theme, a new version comes out, you click the update button, sometimes your changes are lost because the file that contained the changes was updated. So you may make CSS changes, you install the new version, and kaboom, they're all gone. You can't live that way. It's just not possible because you have to keep your site patched. So they created a workaround called the child theme. And the child theme is derived from the parent theme. So for example, if you look here in this chart, you see here this list of directories inside of the WordPress theme directory. 2014, 2013, et cetera, then 2015, then 2015 child. By creating this structure, 2015 child, and creating two files inside that directory and putting certain contents in those files, what we're able to do is we're able to create a child theme. This new theme is fully functional, even though it only has two files inside of it. And what it does is it piggybacks on the original theme. It uses the assets of the original theme. So you're able to create a child theme and then put your customizations inside this child theme folder. Then when you update the original parent theme, 2015, it doesn't affect the child. You get the benefit of the updated files, but you don't overwrite your changes in the child directory. Now, this is wonderful because we're then able to segregate our customizations from the core files that we need to update. And they've made the process relatively simple. I mean, really there's three steps to this. First, we create a directory, name it appropriately. Then we create a functions.php file, put some special stuff in there. And we create a style.css file and put some special stuff in there. I'm going to show you all that in just a second. But let's go back and let's actually take a look at it using our theme directory. So here we are. This is our theme directory inside that WP content folder. I open that up. There's our new theme chosen. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a new directory here, and I'm going to call it chosen child. I use that name structure because what it will do then is it'll keep these directories close to each other. So you put it inside your themes directory. There's chosen child. Now inside of chosen child, which is currently empty, I need to create two files, a functions.php file and a style.css file. You can create these with the text editor, and you can copy the contents from WordPress.org or from any of the number of sites online that give you tutorials about how to create a child theme. I've done it a number of times, so I have those things available to me. I'm going to show them to you now. For the style.css file, all you need to put in here, and we don't really need that, is the theme name and the template name. Now, the thing to note here is for theme name, this is what is going to show inside your theme manager. It has no technical implications, but for template, this has to match exactly the name of the directory of the parent theme, including the case. So chosen, small case, becomes chosen, small case here. Once that's done, then I need to save this. I'm going to save this into that directory. I'm in MAMP, htdocs, WordPress demo, content, themes, chosen child, right there. Save it there. And then I also need to create a functions.php file, and the functions.php file needs to contain this text. Now, if you're watching this on a playback on the video, you can pause it here and look at this, or you can copy it directly from WordPress.org. Basically, the purpose of this action, this function, is to bring in the style sheets from the parent theme. If you are using a complex commercial theme that has a large number of style sheets, you'll need to look at your documentation on WordPress.org and note how to add multiple style sheets to this. The way that this is written right now, it's only adding one style sheet, style.css, which is found in the root of the parent themes directory. So if you're using a commercial theme that does something different than this, you'll need to be able to bring all those in using this. So let's go ahead and save this. There it is, chosen child, save it. So now if I go back here, I look inside chosen child, functions.php, style.css. Let's go back to the Themes Manager. If I click the Themes Manager, I should see a new theme called Child of Chosen. That was the name I gave it. And now if I activate this, the child theme will take over. And what impact does this have on the front end? Well, take a look. I reload the page. It's exactly the same. Oops, again, I've lost my menu, right? There we go. So I'm gonna have to move the menu again, but you'll notice the appearance is exactly the same. And that's because it's using the assets of that parent theme. So we are able to get the look and feel of the parent theme, all the functionality of the parent theme, but with a child theme that we can edit freely. Now, let me go back and fix my menu assignment again. Here it is. Just tell it to use that for the primary menu. Now, once this is done, you're able to begin the customization process. And you can do this now with impunity because anything you do is not going to be overwritten when you update the primary theme, the parent theme. Now, a couple of things I want to get done here, and I'll use these as just examples of work process. First, I don't want to call this a new WordPress site, and that's actually the site title, so I'm going to have to change the site title. And a demo WordPress site, I'll just keep that. No, I'm going to change that too. I can't stand it. And then this page, Welcome to Jazz, it displays the page title here, which is a bit confusing. So I think I'm going to change that. And then I would like to have a nice big image that spans the page. So it's a nice homepage type image. And then the last thing is I want to clean up this footer and put my own information down here. So let's work through those things one at a time. First, I'm going to change the site title and the site tagline to fix this. And I do that by going into the back end. I go to Settings, I go to General. And I'm actually going to rename the site Welcome to Jazz. Now the tagline is going to be, I don't know, for fixtures and aficionados. 1 F or 2 Fs in aficionados. Okay, we're going to go with that and hope for the best. Change that. Go back here, reload this page and take a look at this. Yep, that works now. Of course, we can see how really redundant this is. So let's go back to the back end now, and let's find that page. So remember, I set that page as the home page. There it is. It says it's the front page. I'm going to edit this page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kill off page title, and then I want to put an image here, a big image that spans the page. So I'm actually going to use the featured image functionality. So I click Set Featured Image, and let's upload something cool. Got a great shot of Thelonious Monk at a session at a loft in New York City. Let's drop that in there. And let's update this. Let's go back to the site. Hit return. Oh yeah, much, much, much better. Got our menu, we've got a title that makes sense, we've got a lead image that's consistent with the look and feel, and then we've got the intro copy that we want. Now the last thing we want to deal with here is we want to get rid of this footer and modify that. Oh, this is cool. It's nice and clean. I love the black and white look. The typography's right. I can live with this. So I'm going to go back here now and change that footer file. Okay, to edit the files in your theme, you go to Appearance, Editor. Now, the first thing that you see is you see the style sheet, and this is where we could add custom styles if we wanted to add styles here. And we just enter those, typing the selectors in manually, and when we save those, they're live. That's fine. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to modify the footer. Unfortunately, you see when you look over here, there's only 2 files inside of our child theme, theme functions and style sheet. Well, I need to get the footer file into the child theme so I can edit it. So how do I do that? Well, I go back over here and I go to the parent theme. I find the file that I want to modify. That's footer.php. I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to paste it into here. Where did it go? Hello? Wow. Okay, I obviously didn't do that, right? I'll do it that way. I'll just move it and rename it. There it is. I'm going to rename it to footer. Okay, now if I go back to the admin system and I refresh this edit page, Bingo, there's the footer file. So let's click on that and see if I got the right page. And yeah, here it is. Chosen WordPress theme by Compete Themes. Okay, so let me see what this looks like on the front end to make sure exactly what it is I want to modify. And that's the only language I want to modify. So I'm just going to change that to something like, I'm going to put in a copyright notice, and I'll just put in all rights reserved. So I'm just putting all rights reserved 2015, update the file. You do whatever you want, obviously. The point I'm trying to make is you can edit these files like the header and the footer file. The way that you do it, and there it is, all rights reserved 2015, is you copy those files and then put them in the child theme and you edit them inside the child theme. You don't edit them inside the parent directory. Okay, now there we have really the basics that I wanted to go through today, which is how do I find a theme, what is a theme, how do I install it, and then how do I customize it. Now I am going to show you one other thing just to be complete about the customization thing. There is a customization option that comes with WordPress, and I didn't use it because frankly most of the time I find it's just easier to modify these things directly. You know, you can go here and you click this and you'll see what, you know, it sort of rounds up all the options for you. You can change the logo. You can add social media icons. Okay, hey, that's really handy. I like that. Let's add those things in there too. That would be cool. So yeah, see, there is good stuff in here. I'm glad I looked. Modify the header image, the font, the blog layout, the colors. And for a lot of people, this is really neat. Also, one of the things that's kind of fun is that with the commercial themes, they oftentimes have their own theme control panel that is a much more expanded version of these set of tools and is actually redundant to the WordPress tools, and you wind up using the customized ones that came with the commercial theme because they offer a lot more options. So, you know, the customizer is there if you want to use it. Certainly it's worth investigating. I mean, right now I just checked it out and learned some things that I didn't know were available in this theme, so it's certainly worth doing. But any heavy lifting you're going to do here inside of the editor. For those of you who aren't comfortable with CSS, then I would strongly suggest that you do look at a commercial theme that has a wide variety of customization options built into the theme that you can access without any kind of custom coding. Okay, I'm looking at our question queue. I haven't seen anything pop up just yet, but what I will say is if you do want to discuss this topic a bit more, just post in the forums and I'll jump in and have a chat with you about it. I spend a lot of time working with themes. There's a lot of neat stuff you can do. Really, you're only limited by your creativity. It's very rare that you're actually shut down by technical issues when it comes to theming. It's very rare that the technical stuff stops you from doing something. WordPress is extremely flexible in terms of the presentation layer. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming. This has been great. I picked up some new things. I found a theme with no widget areas. And again, I didn't know these even existed. I'll be back next month, first Tuesday of January, and I think our topic next month is WooCommerce, and we're going to look at how to set up e-commerce and get your basic e-commerce stuff started on your site. Don't forget that on the webinars page of How to WordPress, you can also make suggestions for topics. And of course, if you aren't a member of How to WordPress yet, please drop by, check out the site, and join us if you think it'll help you. We're trying to build a WordPress community, and this is a great start. Everybody take care. Have a great day. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next time.